Hi, baby gorgeous. Welcome to another episode of Bravo and Blaze with Jenny Blaze. I'm your host, Jenny Blaze, and we're here to discuss everything going on in the Bravo TV world this week with a little pop culture sprinkled in. Grab your 420 goodies and let's get lit. Today, this isn't an ad, but I have this heirloom beverage that has 10 milligrams of THC and 5 milligrams of CBD. And the flavor is cran apple. I have never had a infused beverage that didn't taste like it was medicated. I can't believe it. This is like so delicious. Anyways, okay. Before we get started, let me hit you with a quick disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We're not here to harm, bully, or spread negativity. Everything discussed is alleged. As always, please don't take anything I say as gospel. I'm not a journalist, nor do I claim to be one. Nothing here is fact-checked because, again, this is all for entertainment. Be cool. Don't be all like uncool. I could see Luann. I should bring her in here, but she's right there with me, always in spirit. We love you, Luann. Luann is crushing it right now, by the way. Always. She's like on a European tour, cabaret tour. She's got like these A-list celebrities opening for her. She's crushing it. Luann de Lesseps' mugshot is symbolic. That's why I wear it to bed on a t-shirt. Anyways, if you're not already following us on social media, we are at Bravo and Blaze on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitch. And of course, at Jenny Blaze on YouTube. Also, we are live. If you're watching on YouTube, hop into the live chat, drop your thoughts, ask questions, and interact with the community. I'll be taking breaks throughout the show to share some of your comments. For my podcast listeners, remember, we've got visuals over here on YouTube, but wherever you're tuning in from, do me a favor and subscribe, follow, share, like, comment, and leave a 5-star review to help support Bravo and Blaze. Before we get into the Karen Huger stuff, I need to mention that I have an exclusive interview, or I did one, with Sienna Evans from Southern Charm. You may know her as Shep Rose's quote-unquote girlfriend, or Miss Bahamas. She spoke to us last week to clear the air and give her side of the story. Make sure you check that out on Bravo and Blaze, available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. We're going to talk about the whole Sienna and Shep thing when we get to Southern Charm, so hang tight. What else do we have? Patreon. We're now tracking the full timeline of Craig and Paige's breakup as it plays out on Southern Charm and Summer House. You can catch all the latest updates over there. Plus, I'm sharing bonus content to dive even deeper into that mess. For example, recently on Patreon, this is an example. Sienna recently posted a series of TikToks debunking some of the wild claims floating around about her. And I've done the work for you by stitching them all together and breaking down the key points all in one place, exclusively on Patreon. Don't miss out. Head to patreon.com/Bravo and Blaze to get all the extra tea. Okay. Before I get into Bravo and pop culture, quote unquote, news, I need to go through a little update. So if you know me, you already know I am a major birthday monster. We are counting down. It's less than a week. I'm talking full Stassi Schroeder energy, loud and definitely not proud, but here we are. I'm a birthday monster. And in true birthday monster form, I've made a decision. I'm officially giving myself the whole month off, my birthday month, from Bravo and Blaze, the podcast, weekly live streams, and pregame YouTube lives. But that does not mean I'm disappearing completely. I'll still pop in on social media whenever the Bravo urge arises, which, let's be real, that'll happen quite frequently, I'm sure. I'm just shifting focus behind the scenes for a little bit so I can work on some exciting projects to help us level up this whole Jenny Blaze media empire. So don't worry, I'm not ghosting you. I'm just cooking up some new magic. I've got the magic in me. I had a tiny, tiny bit of a Traitors chub last night, and it came from Gabby. So I love that for me, but I hate the Traitors right now, and we'll talk about that. All right, my birthday monster update is complete. Now let's talk about the real monsters, our beloved Bravo celebrities, and some of these unhinged pop culture headlines. It's time to spill. First, I wanted to promote My Dead Friend Zoe. It's a new movie that comes out today in theaters. It's starring Sonequa Martin Green, Natalie Morales, Ed Harris, Morgan Freeman, Gloria Rubin, and Utkarsh Ambudkar. I hope I didn't say it wrong. But yeah, I got to see a screener of this and I highly recommend. It also has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. You can't go wrong with a 100%. Okay, what else? Oh my gosh. One other thing in our news portion. Marcus Jordan's white substance test comes back as ketamine. Ugh, not good, not good. So I saw this on Baller Alert on Instagram. It says Marcus Jordan's DUI drug charge updated after white substance test comes back as ketamine. This is blogged by Y'all Not Gonna Drag Me. I love that name. Marcus Jordan's legal troubles have taken a turn after new drug test results revealed that the white powder found in his pocket during his DUI arrest was ketamine, not cocaine, TMZ Sports has learned. Jordan, 34, was arrested on February 4th in Florida after allegedly driving under the influence and crashing into a property. Police initially field tested the substance and got a positive reading for cocaine, but further analysis by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement determined it was actually ketamine, a Schedule III controlled substance. While both drugs share a similar color and texture, ketamine can sometimes cause false positives for cocaine during rapid field tests. What? Is that true? I've never heard that before. Law enforcement sources said. Jordan's updated charges now include possession of ketamine, DUI with property damage, and resisting arrest. The state attorney's office amended the the rest is in their profile. Go check it out. So I still can't get over that he said play some Mariah Carey up in this bitch. He said that Marcus Jordan. Well, my first question before I saw the body cam footage, my first question was, oh my gosh, I wonder if he mentioned his father. And sure enough, he did. And then we hear that he was asking the police officers to play Mariah Carey. Oh, Marcus. Oh, man. I don't know what to say about that. Let's get into the meat of today's show because we still have a lot. And I want to say what's up to N-Dub, Ubergalb. I see you. I see you. Welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, it's Pisces season, and we're Pisces. Okay. Oh, my gosh, there's so much to talk about. And we're going to start with the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm going to read this week's episode description first, and then we'll go into Karen Huger. So this week we had season 9, episode 19, the reunion part 2. The reunion continues with Mia spiraling backstage after her confrontation. Kierna and Stacy faced tough criticism about their relationships with Greg and TJ. But when new revelations are made, the women are left speechless. When the ladies take her to task for her actions throughout the season, Mia finally reaches her breaking point. Actually, you know what? This episode wasn't that bad because Stacy showed a side of us that we haven't seen yet. What did she get petty over? She is no longer friends with the dress designer because she put Stacy in a dress that Ashley already wore. She's like so pissed about it. She goes, we're done. I was like, wow, I didn't know Stacy had that in her. And then also, apparently Ash TOP is the father of Jacqueline's baby. That's a joke, obviously. And the cliffhanger before part 3 is that Wendy gets tea from Eddie, who just spoke to TJ on the phone. And TJ is Stacey's quote-unquote boyfriend. If you have any comments on this week's episode, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'm going to go into the Karen Huger thing, and I'll come back to the comments. The Karen Huger thing. Oh my God. Karen Huger is currently in jail as we speak. I don't know why this is hitting me now. Like, we've had all this time. We knew she got a DUI. We watched Shannon go through her season having a DUI. We're almost done with Karen's season. She hasn't taken accountability really at all. And it's just, oh my God, I cannot believe they took her straight to jail. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I need to first give a huge, huge shout out to, what is there? Hold on. Sorry. What else is going on podcast? So I am like, I had a plan Wednesday morning. I had things to do. And I'm like, oh, wait, Karen Huger is getting sentenced. Like, how am I supposed to find out when they sentence her? And how do I get all the details? I didn't know. So I'm like scrolling through Twitter. I'm scrolling through Instagram. And the first thing I see is What Else Is Going On podcast, We Go podcast. They posted, wait, let me go back. They posted a picture of the door. It said closed hearing. Please do not enter without authorization. So I'm like, oh, okay. I start going about my day because I'm like, we're not going to know until like they're all done. And then somebody comes out and makes a statement, whatever. But then she posts again, I'm inside now. And I was like, what? So I go to Twitter and I'm literally like refreshing every 5 seconds. So go follow the What Else Is Going On podcast. That's WEIGO podcast on Instagram and Twitter. She did the Lord's work. Like, I kind of felt like I can imagine it all happening. And we're going to walk through her commentary. So let me take my picture off so you can see all of this tweet. This is on Twitter at 10:22 a.m. She tweets, I have eyes on Ray, her cousin that was on the show, and I can confirm she has a 613 Heron with black roots. This is already good. 10:25, her lawyer is presenting reasons to the judge why she went to the type of recovery center she went to. He said you have to make it appealing for people to step away from their everyday lives, sort of like an incentive to get help. 10:27 a.m. She went to a place called Right Turn for 48 hours. It is a place with rooms meant to look like jail cells so she could experience what that's like. She also has a continuing relationship with her therapist. Y'all, I need to know. I need to see footage. Someone needs to go to this place called Right Turn that Karen went to. I need a full video tour. I want to see what it looks like in there. Like, is she for real? I bet she didn't even go for 48 hours. Like, I don't believe that Karen Huger stayed in a place that looked like a jail cell for 48 hours. Uber gal said, what a joke. And Dub said, I don't know if inmates can wear extensions while they are in. That should be interesting. Whew. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Let me just make my face disappear. Okay. 10:30 a.m. She has signed up to participate in a program where she has a handheld breath device. It will require her to blow 4 times a day. The results go to whomever she chooses. Okay. Why does she get to choose? 10:32. Ray is getting ready to testify. I was not expecting this. I was not expecting any of this. So I'm already on edge to begin with that we got live coverage inside the courtroom. And now they're saying, she says that Ray is getting ready to testify. I'm like sweating. My hands are shaking. I don't know if I would have been able to sit there inside the courtroom and tweet the way that she did because my hands were shaking, just refreshing. And I was not expecting this at all. I was not expecting to have any real emotion because I haven't really had any emotion over this whole DUI thing with Karen since it started. I remember like when it first happened, I was like, oh man, here we go. This is going to be very triggering. And I thought she was going to come on to Potomac this season like Shannon did and be very remorseful, but it's been the complete opposite. So I haven't even had a chance to be like, like I haven't had that relief of like, Karen gets it. Now we can rehabilitate. Like, I don't think she gets it. I still don't think she gets it, but you'll see why. Let me go through the rest. Poor Ray. I want Ray to live. 10:36 a.m. Ray said the kids are a little hurt by this. Don't know why he said little, but her lawyer asked if Ray was aware of everything that Karen has done in the last few months to get help. He said yes. He told the judge Karen is doing very well and has recovered from the accident, and Karen is crying. That's funny. At 10:39, Ray is 77, and I have to say he looks good and gets around good. Right. I'm dying to know because I've gone live a few times since this happened, but not for Bravo and Blaze, our weekly session. And I'm dying to know, like, is Ray going to divorce Karen? Is Ray going to go out and like party while Karen's in jail? Like, what is Ray doing? I need to know. And like, I'm not saying like no judgment. He could do whatever he wants. I just want to know and I want to see. Also, I think people were talking about is Potomac going to be paused for Karen until she gets out? They better not. That's my take. Chicken PK Dork Face Neely said, no, he is set in his old ways. Oh, I want to see Ray like on vacation for the next year. Okay, let's see what else. There's more. 10:43. Her lawyer said she is a good person, has been gracious through this experience. He has asked the judge for a suspended sentence, 3 years probation, AA twice per week, make therapy a condition, and another thing, but I couldn't hear because people rustling around. Wait, N-Dub said it isn't Ray almost 90? Chicken head PK dork face. Neely said he is 77, not 30. I know. Uber gal said, Ray, now's your chance with running emojis. Oh man, oh man. Okay, 10:48. Prosecution is running down her other offenses and said something has to give. She understands people getting second chances, but this is her fourth. She has got second chances. Chicken head PK Jork face Neely said, lucky I was not in court. I would have been straight up laughing at them. Oh my gosh. 10:53 a.m. Karen is speaking. Oh, man. 10:58. She apologized for bringing this to trial and was arrogant in thinking she could handle alcohol. We know. 11 o'clock a.m. This judge is reading Karen's actions on that body cam to filth. The judge said Karen is no stranger to drinking while driving on our roads. When she got a PBJ, which means probation before judgment, I learned it's not peanut butter jelly. When she got a PBJ in 2007, one would think Miss Huger learned her lesson. In 2008, before the ink was dry on the other one, she was arrested again. He is not playing. 11:04 a.m. He said Karen had the hang of working the system prior to 2011. All warnings went in one ear and out the other, but she remained undeterred. I mean, the judge isn't wrong. 11:08. The judge said, how about a program without a summer connotation? Ooh. Oh boy, Karen. 11:08, y'all. I think Karen is going to jail. 11:09, judge has sentenced Karen for 2 years with 1 year suspended. That means, I guess, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, is she in jail for 2 years? Like, what does that mean? Apparently, this means like 1 year hard time. And then if she like misbehaves or I don't know, something happens, then she has to do the full 2 years. Or I think someone said like she could get out in 1 year and then go back. If she's on probation and she messes up, then she might have to go back to do the second year. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Chicken Head. Jenny, I am retired corrections and spent every Thursdays for 30 plus years at court. So what is that? Does it mean that she, like, how long is Karen going to have to worry about, like, being on her best behavior? Because I don't know how she's going to come out of this. Don't worry. We're going to we have way more to talk about. So 11:28 a.m. As Karen was being taken into custody, she yelled, "Love you, Ray. God's got you. You'll be all right. God bless you." Oh my God. I wish we could have seen that. Like, I can picture that in my head. Her yelling, "Love you, Ray. God's got you. You'll be all right. God bless you." Oh my God. So they released Karen's statement that she made, and I'm going to play it for you all.
I prepared a statement. Didn't want to forget anything. Your Honor, I want to apologize for taking this case to trial, but I also want to thank you for allowing me to have the trial. I think it was the mirror I needed to take a hard look at myself and the direction I was headed in. I think my prior cases, I showed up to court, followed the advice of my lawyers, got the case resolved, and went my way. I like to think I took the cases seriously. But this certainly has been such a much different experience for me. An experience that demanded that I take a look at myself, truthfully. I think for many years I was putting a Band-Aid on some personal history that was leaving me very unhappy. It is possible that just like taking daily medication for high blood pressure and cholesterol, I just thought medication for depression and anxiety was something that came with the territory of getting older and having more responsibilities and more to worry about. And certainly there was a sense of entitlement that I should be allowed to keep on consuming alcohol. I have been successful. It's been 15 years since my last DUI. Why should I give up the social indulgence? Well, this case is why. Drinking responsibly, especially while taking medications, mean not drinking at all. I failed at that miserably. I understand how lucky I am that I hit a tree. Thank God I did not hit a pedestrian. In recovery, I was told of a young man named Kevin who hit a tree when he was 17 years old. Kevin was in a coma for 30 days. Kevin is now permanently brain damaged and his life will never be the same. I asked God, why not me? The only answer I could come up with was that I was spared because I have a responsibility to use my unique optic lens and teach others and affect quite possibly millions of people with the message of not drinking and driving. I understand better the brutal clarity of the fact that when you're behind a car driving, you're not just driving for yourself. It's my responsibility to make sure my community members make it to their destination safely as well. I want to thank the officers who came to my assistance that night and apologize for my attitude back on March 19th. They were truly professional and gracious toward me at a time when I was not. The body cameras definitely prove that they were right and I was wrong. I should have handled the situation differently. Your Honor, I have a lot on my plate now, but I understand this is all for a very good reason. I will not let you down. I will not let my community down. I will follow through on everything I am currently doing to maintain my sobriety and everything you ordered me to do. And I can assure you that AA is going to remain a part of my life for the rest of my life. I will graduate out of programs, probation, and interlock terms will end. But I know that the relationships that I am creating with AA could and should and will last a lifetime. Those relationships are the greatest offer that I can offer you of my terms of sobriety and success. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shooter. I appreciate your...
Chicken Head PK Jork Face Neely said, I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. Oh my gosh. The one part that made me laugh was when she said officer instead of officer, but I can imagine that she is very nervous and probably is shaking and crying. But I asked you all, do you all think that Karen feels any remorse? On Instagram, it sounds like no. Over here, Chicken Head PK Jork Face Neely thinks no. Uber gal, maybe a tiny bit, but no remorse. She just happened to get caught this time due to the tree stopping her. No, seriously. By the way, this audio I got from OMFG Reality TV. So I wish if she was going to give a story as an example of her understanding the severity of what she did, I wish she would have told a story about somebody who like lost a loved one from a DUI, because that example that she gave makes it seem like she's like, I could have been very seriously injured. Like, lady, you need to be thankful that you didn't kill anybody. And I hope that Karen wakes up in that jail every single morning and is thanking God that she is alive and that she didn't kill anybody. But I don't know if she's going to do that. Over on Instagram, I see Red Simple said she made it more about her. Really, she did. And I just I heard this statement after seeing all the tweets. So I'm like, oh my God, my head was already racing. I'm like, I was not prepared for this. Like, she didn't even get to hug Ray or anything. Like, they just literally took her straight to jail. And did we know that? Like, did anyone know that? Did she know that? Because that's a big difference than like what we're used to with Jen Shaw. I think, didn't she have like 1 week or 2 weeks until she had to actually go to jail? And then same with Teresa. They had they scheduled it. So it was like, oh, we'll make sure that you and your husband aren't in prison at the same time or whatever. Chickenhead PK Dorkface Neely said, yes, she was told by her lawyer. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me go back. Statistically, the amount of times people drive under the influence before they get caught is staggeringly scary. No, I believe that. Oh no, she's waking up screaming and crying at this point. Then she will get transferred to prison. She will have 30 days. Oh yeah. They said like she has 30 days to appeal and request I don't know, something. Let's see. Different kind of crimes and different kinds of prisons. Yeah, I need to know like she's wearing like a orange jumpsuit, I'm assuming, right? I'm just like, I don't know why all of my emotions about this UI have been delayed until she got sentenced and it all just like came out. And I'm like, I was shook. I'm still kind of shook. I still can't believe like Karen is in jail right now. Wow. Okay. Let's go back to our lineup. Any other thoughts on Potomac or Karen? I'm going to move on to married. Oh, there she is. Poor Karen. I mean, not poor Karen. 1 year is light for what she did. So I hope she actually does reform. All right, let's move on to Married to Medicine, season 11, episode 12, Calm After the Storm. The argument at the sandbar continues, forcing a couple to leave the trip. Phaedra also departs on a private jet, leaving the ladies shocked. The men try to make sense of the drama as a group spends their last night together trying to figure out a way forward. Dr. G, I never saw the earlier seasons of Married to Medicine, something that I would love to do. Actually, maybe I'll do it during March, during my birthday month. But I heard that Dr. G was not a great guy. And I'm like, well, I've only seen him from the last like 2 seasons or whatever. And he hasn't been like amazing, but I haven't seen anything that's like, ugh, like he really sucks until this week. And I don't remember all the details and I didn't write it down, but something about the way he was talking to Sweet Tea when they were arguing with Quad and Herman, like that felt weird. And then like the way they fought after that, he like just abandoned her, went somewhere. She couldn't find him. And the way he was talking about the fight, acting like he's like, oh, if it didn't get broken up, it would have gone to the death. Like he was so dramatic. And I just don't like the way that he abandons Sweet Tea all the time. Like he's like, whatever, let's just end this. And I don't know. I don't know a lot about him, but I don't like what I'm seeing. And I think Phaedra's done. And I kind of don't blame her, right? I was explaining to someone what happened. I was like, one of my Traitors, fellow Traitor lovers, who also watched season 2, and Phaedra was on season 2. So I was like, trying to explain what happened to them. I'm like, Phaedra went on this trip with this group of friends, and Dr. Heavenly invited Phaedra's ex-husband. He shows up and brings his wife, who is allegedly the mistress of when he was married to Phaedra. My friend is like, oh yeah, that's real messy. So, I mean, I don't blame her. And you get on that PJ, girl. You do your thing. I don't know. Any comments on Married to Med? I think I'm going to move on, but I do want to give a reminder that I do have an interview with Dr. Contessa and Dr. Simone. You can check out the links in the show notes. Okay, let's move on to Below Deck Down Under with Captain Jason. Okay. Season 3, episode 4, Kiss and Don't Tell. Anthony puts Zarina in a bind, causing her to crack under pressure. Harry's fate on Katina is determined as we learn the extent of his injury. Marina asks Leon on a date, sparking tension between her and Zarina. And also in other below deck news, I guess Gary and Bravo are getting sued by the makeup artist that Gary allegedly did something to. I don't know the details, but I didn't want to bring too much attention to it. But that is what's happening. Going back to below deck down under, I remembered this week why I don't like Zarina. She is such a complainer, and she is one of those people who will complain about anything. You give her a solution and she'll find something else to complain about. Captain Jason couldn't take it. He just walked away. It actually felt like a married couple getting into a fight or something. And she's like crying on the floor, like, girl, you need to get it together. Get it together. Also, I did see somewhere that I think she said that she would hook up with Captain Jason. And I thought that was I was like, ugh, I was disgusted. Not that either of them are disgusting in particular, except for Captain Jason. And I've given my theory before, but I just have this weird feeling like he has an Asian fetish, and that grosses me out. Sorry. I hope that's not true, but this is just my opinion. But yeah, anything good happen? Marina and Leon, I guess, are gonna hook up, and Zarina doesn't like it. She always gets boy crazy, and it's like, girl, you have a lot to do. You don't have time for that. Just focus on your food. Anyways. And Dub said, yes, she would drive me crazy. For reals. Ugh, she's so annoying. Okay. Wait, Near Nothing said, doesn't Captain Jason live in Thailand? He lives in an Asian country. And I think that's one of the reasons why I believe he may have an Asian fetish. I don't know if it's true, but and the reason why it triggers me a lot is because my whole life growing up, because my mother started a Korean church, and I went every Sunday. She was very big into the church. It was all Korean, but then every now and then, like, there'd be like one white guy like would just show up and like keep coming every week. And even as a child, I'm like, what is going on? Not because like, oh, he's a bad white guy, but like, I'm like, is he here to like hit on women? Oh, God. I hope that's not the case. Okay, we need to move on because this is getting dangerous. So, anything else about Below Deck Down Under? Let's move on to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 14, Episode 13, Caviar Catastrophe. Sutton and Dorit's feud gets dirty as a food fight almost breaks out at Jennifer Tilly's first group lunch. How dare they? Beau's hopes for her fertility journey are met with a reality check. I got lots to say about that. Shocking photos leave Garcelle and Erica seeking answers. Kyle facing even more questions about her future. Like, the Kyle Mauricio thing is so annoying to me. I don't even want to hear about it. I think I like almost block it out because the first time I read this episode description, when they said shocking photos leave Garcelle and Erica seeking answers, I totally forgot. I'm like, oh, duh, that's Mauricio. Because I remember when it was like going down. Obviously, we track these things on social media. But I'm just so over it. It's annoying to me. Am I the only one? Ugh. But let's go back to Sutton and Dorit getting into a feud. First of all, how dare you during Jennifer Tilly's first group lunch, her beautiful caviar lunch. Like, what kind of manners are you bringing? Sutton is not the Southern Belle that she tries to act like she is. And I know there are Sutton lovers out there, and I don't hate Sutton, but I don't get it. There has never been one time ever where I've been like, oh my God, I love Sutton. Or, oh my God, Sutton is so funny. Like, never. And I'm not saying I like Dorit either, because I'm hearing that she is potentially a fraud. I don't even want to get into that side of it, but whatever. If that's the case, that's the case. But in the Dorit versus Kyle thing, I'm more on Dorit's side. Anyways, I don't really care about any of that. I don't care about anyone but myself. Just kidding. That was a line that Erica said last season, was it? Yeah, I thought that Sutton just had poor manners acting the way she did towards Dorit. She also said, I think my wallet's bigger than yours, which was just very tacky, felt gross. I didn't like it. And yeah, I think Sutton won that battle between her and Porit, but it wasn't like, I wasn't like, oh my God, that was such a good read. Like, there was nothing like that. I don't know. I just get this like Kelly Ben Simone and Scary Island feeling whenever Sutton has a confessional. Like, she's off. It's not quirky. It's like, I don't know, jarring. Anyways, let's move on, because I loved Jennifer Tilly on Watch What Happens Live after Beverly Hills. They played this game, which I think they should play on every single Watch What Happens Live when there's a housewife. It's called The Price is Wife, and it's basically The Price is Right. And Andy's asking them basic questions about, like, what's the average price for an American mortgage? Jennifer Tilly, first she said, what's a mortgage? Which I think she was just being funny, but she was like, I don't know, $86. And I don't know if she's joking or not. And then she said, he asked, like, what's the average price of a lawnmower? And she asked a good question. She's like, the push kind or the seated kind, the driving kind? And he's like, just a regular one. And but I think in her mind, she was thinking like a nice souped up one. She said $6,000. Can you imagine if every single person in this country who had a lawn had to pay $6,000 just so they can mow their lawn? It would be an outrage. It's so funny though. I love that. I love to see, it's a real good temperature check to see how out of touch they are. And the more out of touch they are, I think the better as a housewife, in my opinion. That could be like a screening process. You have to play The Price is Wife, and you can't get any of the prices right. Okay. The blind item I saw this week, and I saw this from Bravo Snark side. Hold on. I need to make this bigger because I can't even see it. It says, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills cast ready to say good riddance to Jennifer Tilly. The ladies can't stand her. By Nicholas Erickson from Life and Style Weekly. I don't know, but I don't understand that. I hope this is fake, because I don't see why, but then two, I'm enjoying her. I think she's fun. I say keep her. What do you all think about Jennifer Tilly? And Dub says, that confuses me because why? Yeah, literally why? Near Nothing said, I like that Jennifer is cool with not being in sync with the cast and their drama. She's a friend of and doesn't need to impress anyone. Yes. And I love that she gives gifts like Dolce & Gabbana toasters. Was that Dolce & Gabbana or Dior or something? I don't know, but I love it. I love it. I love her Louis Vuitton boat purse. Like, just ridiculous. And I love her attitude about it too, where she's like, I have money. You only live once. And she's right. Like, we only get one shot, so you might as well wear the best of the best, like whatever makes you happy, right? I love her. Chicken Head PK Dorkface Neely does as well. We all love Jennifer Tilly over here, round these parts. Okay, let's move on to Summer House. So we're on season 9, episode 3, Battle of the Sexes. Kyle introduces a new friend to the house. Lexi makes her boundaries with Jesse clear. Paige becomes infuriated after Kyle rage texts her about Craig. I am already liking this season. We're only 3 episodes in, but I love single Paige. I love single Paige, and I love basically Paige when she's not in a relationship with Craig. I don't know what it was. And it's not like I dislike either of them. For some reason, I just knew they shouldn't be together. And the whole time I was just like, this is wrong. This is wrong. Why are you doing this, Paige? Like, this is not going to end well. And actually, to be honest, the way that it's going, I think has ended pretty well considering the fact that they're both on TV shows and she has a podcast, he has a podcast. You know, like it could have been a lot worse, I think. Imagine like Carl and Lindsay's status, which actually they pointed out at dinner where they're like, actually Lindsay and Carl are like kind of fine together. Sierra and Wes are the ones that are like making things awkward, which makes me so angry because Sierra is beyond too good for West. West is not even he's not making he doesn't have any of the prerequisites for Sierra Miller. It grosses me out. It makes me so mad. First, she liked Luke. At least Luke was hot. But she found out real quick with Luke. She's like, no, you're an F-boy. Then we had Austin. He screwed her over. But she, like, kept going back to it. And we're all watching this like, why? Over Muppet Mouth? And then West? God. Ugh. The only reason we even considered liking him last season was because Sierra liked him. He can go, as far as I'm concerned. And Dub said she definitely dates down. Like, ugh, I do that too. I need to stop. Well, how do we fix that problem, Dub? Because it's like a pattern, I think. I don't know. Kyle introduces a new friend, Imrul. So Imrul is the first man on Summer House besides Andrea Denver that I've actually been attracted to. I think Imrul is hot. However, the sex party thing, that's too much for me. I don't want to be dating a guy who goes to sex parties. Like, that's just not going to happen. So live your life. And I hope he's a cool guy. Like, just don't play anyone. And I think if he's that open sexually, I think he actually might be the nicest guy to women because he probably isn't trying to string them along or breadcrumb them. He probably doesn't even want girls to think he likes them. This is what I'm hoping, because he seems very like smooth. He's got some swagger. I think he could easily pull any girl. The problem, which is fine. The problem is when a guy will give the impression that he wants to like have more than a sexual relationship with a girl and she gets attached. Meanwhile, they start to pull back, like we're seeing with Mr. Jesse Solomon, Mr. My Mouth is Humongous Solomon. There even was a clip of him putting something in his mouth. I'm like, why would you bring attention to that? Stop. What is wrong with him? But wow, Jesse in just the first 3 episodes of this season has already solidified himself as an F-boy. The way that he's like coming on so strong to Lexi, who's also younger than him. I mean, there's not a huge age gap, but she is a little bit younger. He's just coming on so strong and being extremely presumptuous, thinking that, oh, she's going to be my girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. She's making him jump through hoops. He's bringing flowers to her family after 2 weeks. Like, he wants to have sex with this girl so bad. And it's embarrassing to watch because as soon as she was like, well, I'm not like a casual dater, I'm like a relationship kind of person. And he's like, oh, that's when he's like backed off, which just proves to all of us who you are, Jesse Solomon. Trash. I hate men. Just kidding. Not all of them, but most of them. So I'm glad Lexi is making her boundaries clear, but I hope she doesn't let Jesse pass go. I hope she puts the kibosh on it. I hope he has blue balls all summer. He deserves it. I don't think he would even do that to himself. But okay, Carl was on Watch What Happens Live, and he was talking about Lindsay in a really weird way to me. I feel like the way he talked about when he first got to the house, he was saying like, the first thing I saw was our car. We bought a car together and I used to bring it to get oil changes. Like, he's talking about this car like a child, like he would bring the car to daycare or something. I'm like, what the hell is going on with Carl right now? And on top of that, it's been like a year and a half since they broke up. Like, oh my God. I just love that everything I predicted is happening because I said Lindsay is not going to give a damn that Carl Radke is in that house. She's going to just be living her best life, pregnant, happy. She's not even going to notice he's there. And then Carl comes in before he even comes in the house, is like acting like a victim and woe is me and oh my gosh. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but he lost me. I never liked him to begin with. I only started liking him because of Lindsay, because I ride or die for Lindsay. And even after they broke up, when everyone automatically, they started taking sides. They're like, I'm team Lindsay, I'm team Carl. Whose team are you on? I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to know? We haven't even seen the footage. Like, we don't know the story of what happened. So I was like very neutral. And I'm like, let's calm down. Let's not all like kill Carl. Let's relax. But then as last season played out, I was like, ugh, I think I hate him again. Sucks. I feel bad that I hate him, but I don't hate him. I just wish he wouldn't be on Summer House. I think the only reason he is there is for a paycheck. I personally don't think that is a healthy environment for him to be in. He lost his brother. He has been struggling with alcohol and substance abuse. His ex-fiance's in the house pregnant with another man's baby. Like, why are you there, Carl? You have to confront whatever demons have brought you to this place. And that is not the right environment for you. Oh my God, it's so annoying. And he's like, oh, you'll see me, like, I get my stride back. Because he was talking about like not having sex for over a year. Oh my God. Oh my God. Carl didn't have sex for a year. Good. Make it 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 or 5. Get it together up here and in here before you worry about down there. Boom. That's a TED Talk, Shep. Now your perfect little freckled lips. Okay. And right there with you, Jenny. Near nothing. Agreed. Yes. What else? Okay. Oh, so Carl was on Watch What Happens Live, and then Lindsay responded. I love Lindsay. I saw this on Taste of Reality. Lindsay Hubbard reacts to Carl Radke's Watch What Happens Live appearance. She wrote, I'm so confused. Didn't this guy break up with me 2 months before our wedding? And now we're supposed to feel bad for him because he wasn't prepared for me to really have moved on? Make it make sense. I mean, she's not wrong. I don't understand why he's like he can't like even walk in the house. He needs like a whole production crew to like support him and get out of the house, Carl. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's move on because we have a lot to talk about with Southern Charm. Oh man. We've been in the Bahamas for like a week, like a month. This Bahamas trip is a long trip, but we're on season 10, episode 12, Lost at Sea. Tensions between JT and Craig finally come to a head. Madison and JT have a one-on-one. As the group embarks on a party boat trip, Shep feels adrift about Sienna. Shep did not try to hide his feelings at all when he was basically dumped again. Sienna was supposed to go on the boat with them. He's like, this was your idea. He's like he's texting her. She's like, I don't think I'm going to make it. And he's like, well, how far away are you? She's like, no, just go without me. It's like, oh man. Why do I feel bad for Shep? Oh my gosh. I should not feel bad for Shep, but I kind of do. So I mentioned earlier that I did interview Sienna last week, but before I interviewed Sienna, Shep went on his Instagram stories to comment on the latest episode from last week.
Everyone, so getting a few messages from last night's episode. Yes, the texts were cringy, but I think you got to understand, I went from like texting and calling 2-3 times a day, making plans for the future. There's really nice things, and then the rug is pulled out from underneath you. You don't know why. And it sucks. It's such a helpless feeling, but here's the deal. And, added to the fact it's on TV, but I have to be honest. I have to come at it with authenticity and realness. So that's what I did, and it sucked, but it was what was happening, and it was a tough situation, and so no apologies, just letting you know.
Whew, Sheppy, Shepherd, Schlep. Michelle said, Shep met his female version of himself. LOL, kind of poetic. And Dub said, I totally felt bad for Shep. You did? No, girl, I expect more from you. I'm just kidding. That Bahamas trip turned into an expedition in search of Sienna. Seriously, it's like a search party. Have you seen this person? Have you seen this woman? She's Miss Bahamas. Near Nothing said, did all of Shep's exes curse this guy at the same time to bring Sienna to fruition? She did everything I'm sure Shep had done to most, if not everyone he had dated. Michelle said she was so not into Shep. So I thought that too. I really did. I'm like so on board with all the comments, but when I talked to Sienna, I was shocked at her side of the story. She actually liked Shep at one point. And she went on TikTok and debunked a lot of the rumors that people were circulating about her dating Whitney first. I saw the screenshot. Whitney messaged her first, said, hey, how's it going? Or something like that. She responded with like, good, how are you? Or something along those lines. And he never responded. And she said she didn't even know that Shep and him were friends even after she met him because he's a catfish on this app. She said his pictures and him do not look alike. And I believe that. Also, she said they first met on Raya, but then they moved onto Instagram. Like they started communicating on Raya first and then moved to Instagram. When they started talking on Instagram, that's when she found out that he was on a show, which let me see. Does Shep have like a link or something that says Southern Charm in his profile? Because I'm wondering if that's like his way of trying to lure girls in. Like, look, I'm on this show. But he doesn't, by the way. I'm looking right now. What else did she say? Her grandmother does watch the show and is a fan, but she didn't know until one day they met up. She like at the time her grandmother was single. I guess she's like married now or engaged, or she's engaged. I love that for her grandmother. But they were just meeting up to catch up and talk about their dating lives because her grandmother was dating too. And so they're like exchanging stories. She shows a picture of Shep, and the grandmother was like, that's Shep from Southern Charm. And she's like, oh, okay. And I guess like her grandmother and all of her friends and whatever like club she's in, they like all are fans of the show. But still, she didn't watch the show. I might need to follow up with her and maybe do a follow-up interview because she mentioned that she did start watching some of the show after she found out about it. And that contributed to some of her feelings kind of fading away. And he was also she was trying to like kind of get some clarity on their relationship before the trip, but he already booked it and he kept saying, no, let's wait until the cameras come. Let's have this conversation on camera. So he was pushing for their relationship to be on camera, which I think scared her away because she's talking about how like, you know, like she didn't know how she wanted to be presented with this guy who she doesn't even, he never asked her officially, like, will you be my girlfriend? And that's something that Shep, I can see totally doing. Like, he's just like, oh my God, we're going to have babies and blah, blah, blah. And he's just assuming things. But she said that she wasn't sure how she wanted to be portrayed. He didn't give her an opportunity to talk about it together. And then all of a sudden he's like there with a camera crew. And I don't blame her. Like that would be weird, right? Michelle said she wanted to hang with the cast, not Shep. Yeah, so I asked about that. She said that she was friends with Rodrigo. They went on vacation together because Shep and Sienna were dating for like almost a year, I think, at that point. But because they were long distance, they wouldn't see each other that often. And they would either see each other in Bahamas or Charleston, or like they went on a couple trips, I guess. And on one of those trips, Rodrigo was there. So she said she felt close to Rodrigo and she felt like Rodrigo was like a friend. And so that's why she was like, I would like to hang out with them. So I don't know. That's her explanation, but we never know. Let's see. What does Chickenhead say? Did you see Shep say last night that she wanted him to buy her home like $10 million? How do you say dirty, Shep? Yeah, I saw that too. He said to Madison, that house over there, she's told Shep she wanted him to buy it for her. And that's when Shep was like, actually, no, Madison was like, do you think you don't have enough money to date her? And he was like, yeah, I do. And it's really sad to me that it took that for Shep to start to realize. He finally starts to realize, like, get a grasp of the situation where he goes, who am I? Who am I to deserve all of this? And I was like, oh my God, yes, we may have broke through. It took Sienna dumping Shep over and over again for Shep to start to truly look at himself. Finally. Oh boy. What else? Sienna. Yeah, you can check out the interview. It's on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, and I put the link in the show notes. I'm going to move on to this next thing about the White Lotus. So I got this from the Bravoholic on Instagram. It says, Sam Nivola reveals Mike White modeled his family in the White Lotus after Bravo's Southern Charm. Mike told us to go watch Southern Charm, Nivola shares of the series, which takes place in South Carolina and follows the lives of cast members such as Shep Rose and Austin Kroll, among many others. In fact, Jason Isaacs, who played our dad, kind of modeled his whole accent and character off of that cast, which is hilarious. Cam Wimberly, she sees us, I guess, and posts in her Instagram stories, many of y'all are echoing what I thought as soon as I heard the dad speak. Damn, he sounds like Thomas Ravenel. That dialect is not North Carolina. It's Old Charleston. I don't know if that's the accent or not. That was my best version of it right now, but maybe I'll work on it. So the White Lotus, End Up said, oh, wow, I've never heard of that show. I need to watch. I've been hearing about the White Lotus for like nonstop. I've kind of blocked it out when I see it on social media because it's all over the place. And it's one of those ones that I'm just like, it's on a different platform. Like, I don't feel like going there. And like, I don't know. I was just like being stubborn about it. But they just started season 3. And because of this, because also, I guess the guy who writes The White Lotus is Ned Schneebly. That's not his real name, but he's the guy who played Ned Schneebly in School of Rock with Jack Black. He was Jack Black's roommate, the teacher, the actual teacher that Jack Black filled in for. He wrote School of Rock as well, and he wrote The White Lotus. He also, in between, went on Survivor as a contestant and has been casting fellow Survivor castmates on The White Lotus. And apparently they're all like just playing off of Southern Charm. They're basing their characters off Southern Charm. So, yeah, during my birthday month, I am going to try to catch up on The White Lotus so I can watch it along with the rest of you. Oh my gosh. And Dub, are we now endorsing shows that are within 7 degrees of Bravo? No, I heard it's really good. And I do like Ned Schneebly. I loved School of Rock. I thought that movie was great. All roads lead to Bravo. Very true, near nothing. Okay, what else? Okay, I even have a clip of the guy from White Lotus talking about it.
It came out on the internet that Mike had asked us to watch Southern Charm, that great reality show, and somebody in it, people from Southern Charm went, he's clearly doing Thomas Ravenel. Like, that's clearly who I am. And Thomas, I am doing you, mostly, but not for the 2 vowels, which are completely English.
What 2 vowels? He's very technical about that. So, yeah, that's interesting. But, oh my God, this is why Southern Charm is so good this season. Speaking of Thomas Ravenel, I know we do not like him. He is a bad, bad person. He is a POS. However, he is an entertaining POS. On February 22nd at 5:12 p.m., Thomas Ravenel tweets, "I'm not of this sure." I don't know how to do it. I'm not of this sure, but fairly 90% sure that Whitney has had sex with every single girl that's on Southern Charm. I mean, he makes Weinstein look like Jesus Christ. Thomas, what? Okay, that's random, but it gets better. He then adds on to his original tweet and says, "Whitney is right now begging me to take this down because he knows it's going to fuck his whore of a mother. He's nothing but a total piece of shit." I'm sorry, that's so crazy and hilarious. He called Patricia a whore. And they're all mad at JT for not calling Patricia a bitch. Okay, couple things to say about this. One, Thomas Ravenel is awful. However, he's not wrong here. Whitney is the executive producer of Southern Charm. He has slept with most of the women on the cast, including Catherine. Don't forget, season 1 of Southern Charm, Catherine and Whitney were sleeping together before the show started filming, I believe. And then she wound up choosing Thomas after they started filming or whatever. And he was sleeping with Naomi when she came back after she found out Matul was cheating. And he also was showing and sending people Taylor's nude that she sent him, which I don't know why she did that in the first place. But why is Whitney showing his mother and the cast these pictures? Isn't that against the law? Where is HR? I don't know if he's like worse than Weinstein, but they're same category. I can't believe Thomas called Patricia a whore. Was he drunk? This was like, what time of day was this? 5:12 p.m. Yeah, that's cocktail hour. He probably was on his second. What do you guys think? Red Simple 6 said, "Grumpy old man." Seriously, oh my God. Whitney doesn't deserve an award. He deserves a social oh my gosh. Okay. So that was on February 22nd. Well, on February 25th, just 3 days later, Thomas Ravenel tweets again. I just had a long conversation. I just had a long conversation with Patricia Atshaw and her son Whitney Sutherland Smith, and we took a deep dive into what happened over the past 7 years. She basically confirmed what I intuitively knew all along, that she was always my friend, and I hereby want to publicly apologize to her for the mean things that I said about her. He's always been a dear friend, especially after the death of my father. Is that how Thomas Ravenel speaks? I did my best. Oh my gosh, Thomas, you are so wild. And is he still running for office somewhere? Oh my gosh. End up said, definitely old Charleston proper cocktails hour. Yeah, for sure. And he's old, so. Oh, Thomas, how you entertain us. Okay, I have to move on to some tea that originally dropped on Cocktails and Gossip, and I saw it on Bravo Brie, I think, but we'll see. Oh, Michelle said that no, he dropped out, talking about Thomas Ravenel. Oops. Sorry, that's not it. That was Karen's.
Attempted to present on a television screen at his entertainment space blackmail against some of the female cast members. So there is somebody who my sources refer to as the stalker. So there is a woman in Charleston who more than one cast member, male and female, actually have restraining orders for.
Wow.
I cannot say who they are, obviously, because if this person is considered a stalker, we're not going to hurt anyone's
We're not going to feed. Yeah.
Right. But the cast basically flipped out because the stalker with a restraining order on more than one cast member started hooking up with JT. So when JT says, my friend told me, it's actually the stalker who he was hooking up with. She, according to my source, has been wanting to get on the show. She hooked up with JT with the intention of getting on the show. She told JT a bunch of stuff, obviously gave him some sort of recording that would have made a female cast member look bad, and he brought it up while filming. So we see them all mad at JT, and we see Craig mad, and it seems like it's just because he confronted Taylor and said Sally's business, but it's actually much more than that. The cast was actually mad at production, and the showrunner was fired shortly after this scene.
Oh, I remember when that happened.
Yes.
In JT, we saw how well that went for Kenya Moore. I gotta say, what is on the screen, the other cast members have a visual distaste for him. Like Shep especially just.
Okay, I'm going to cut it off. Did you all know this? Okay, so I heard about a stalker around the Southern Charm cast, but I could not follow the information that I was given, so I kind of gave up. But I am a little creeped out, and now I'm scared that she's listening to this and she knows that we know that she exists. What do you guys think about that? That makes sense as to why they're so mad at JT, because I don't think JT did anything wrong. I'm like, what is the problem? They're going so hard on JT over calling Patricia a bitch, which he didn't do. And Craig is the one who said it, who's a compulsive and pathological liar. Love him or not, that's fine. But you cannot deny that Craig Conover is not a liar. He's like the biggest liar on Bravo. And to me, it's comical now because there's so much footage. And he goes, I'm a lawyer. You think I would say something on camera? Like, yes, Craig, because number one, you're not a lawyer. And number two, we have so much footage of you lying. They just put a compilation together recently. And he's like, he goes on Watch What Happens Live and says to Andy with a straight face, he is dead serious. And he goes, I have never lied once on camera. You're lying right now. Oh my gosh. pathological liar is accurate, right? And Near Nothing said, "Oh, I'm glad you're discussing this. Just further proves JT is a clout chaser." Yo, I'm like really disappointed in Vanita. Like, I'm confused. Is what we're seeing really what's going down? Because like, I don't want to believe this is true because she's openly like giving herself a mistress homewrecker label. It's giving Raquel Leviss. Am I the only one? Am I getting something wrong? Like, why is she doing this? He already said he has a girlfriend. End said V seems desperate. Near Nothing said, and why is Vanita ignoring all of these red flags? She's so fresh off the breakup. Oh my God. Is she pulling a Raquel Leviss? Like she's so devastated over her breakup with that guy who would be like James Kennedy in this situation. And now she's like trying to get validation from JT, who's like Sandoval. Oh, God, I hope not. Do better, Vanita. We know you can. Okay, let's move on. We still have to go through Southern Hospitality. And yes, and I hope not. Please, girl, snap out of it. Vanita, please. We beg. Okay. So Southern Hospitality, season 3, episode 9, honeymoon is over. Joe and Maddie's disagreements at home bleed into work. Michaels confides in his stepdad. Lake makes some tough choices. Emmy invites the gang to prom. TJ takes matters into his own hands when he realizes Will is lying. Okay, so the reunion trailer for Southern Hospitality dropped, and I regret to inform you all that it is a Watch What Happens Live reunion, and I just would like to say that they deserve better. They're in their 3rd season, so at least they have the whole cast there this time. We're improving, but we still have a little bit of ways to go. But in the reunion trailer, it looks like Will doesn't show up. Will quits the show, I guess. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? There's like a lot of yelling, a lot of crying. But when we get a reunion trailer, that means we may have some reunion looks. So let's go through them. I got this from Bravo by Gaze. First up, we have Leva and Michaels. I think everyone looks great. I'm not going to go through each look, but they all look great. The only thing with Leva is how much is she going to talk on this show? And same goes with Southern Charm, because was Leva even on this last episode or any episodes? Has she been? I feel like we've maybe seen her one time. So this is interesting, I guess. Like, is she going to be like an LVP? Did Lisa would just come out for a little portion of the reunion, right? I need someone to verify. Next, we got Mia, and I'm sorry, but I forgot this girl's name. I like her dress, though. It's black, it's sheer. It's kind of similar to Madison's pink dress in the Bahamas that had like a turtleneck, but it was sleeveless and it was sheer, and then it had like a thong one-piece body shaper type of thing underneath. You guys know what I'm talking about. Mia looks amazing, of course. I do like her dress. It's got like this like bunch of fringe pieces, but it's not fringe. I don't know what you call it. TJ, he's rocking a suit with no shirt underneath. Yeah. Pop that chest. And Bradley looks so good. I like this suit. It's like a light color with pinstripes. Chic, baby. Love it. Maddie and Joe. Maddie, the look is okay. It's not the best for her. Joe, pretty standard. Looks like Joe. Did he shave? I don't know if he shaved. Emmy, always looking snatched. Grace, always looking snatched. They look amazing. I like their dresses, both of them. Emmy's wearing a lot of white. She's wearing all white, which I think is her way of trying to manifest a proposal from Will. Like, look, I'm ready. Then we have Lake and Austin. I have to say, Lake is one of my favorites. I just love, love, love everything about her. And it's unfortunate that last night, Michaels was talking to his stepdad about, being gay and how his mother it makes me so sad. Like, I'm going to cry just thinking about it. How his mother is kind of just not disowned him, but like kind of disowned him. And it's really sad. He's on a path where he wants to be out and proud and live his life the way that he wants to, despite what other people think. Lake is more reserved, and she's like, I need to put that on pause. I'm not ready for that. And if the time comes when I need to, then I will. But for now, I'm not comfortable with that. And I totally respect that. And I get it. And I just love how, like, these kids are I'm calling them kids. They're so young and they're like so in tune with their sexuality. Like, I am 42 and I feel like I barely know what to do with my sexuality, let alone have these like very serious conversations about it with your parents. Like, I give them props. So I love Michaels and I love Lake. Austin, in the beginning, I'm like, why is he on this show? But last night, I feel like he deserves to be on the show because this whole Will and Emmy thing, the rumor about Will cheating, they were saying that Will was saying that it came from Austin's girlfriend's brother who goes to the same law school. And Will is claiming this guy is trying to otherize me. Whatever that means. Oh my God, Will. Someone's trying to otherize him. And they're bullying him. But then when TJ and Bradley asked Austin, he's like, whoa. He's like, first off, I'm pissed that he's even mentioning my girlfriend's name. Second of all, that's not true because I guess apparently Austin's not on good terms with any of his girlfriend's family. So how would that get to Austin? Which actually, that logic is flawed. Like, his girlfriend could still talk to her brother, right? So I don't know. He's new. We don't know if we can trust him, but this is a serious allegation because that would mean that Will lied about the rumor coming from Austin's girlfriend's brother. I need to draw a diagram. So yeah, that's going to come out next week at Law Prom. That Emmy is throwing for Will, and he put in like the bare minimum effort to ask her to go to this Law Prom. He drew letters on balloons with a Sharpie. The delivery was awful. The execution was awful. It was giving less than bare minimum. Near nothing said. What is the appeal of Will? How is he rumored with all these hoes? And why is Emmy still trying to be with him? Because he's going to be a lawyer? He can barely defend himself in real life. Oh my God. Near nothing. You are so right. Like, I was with you on all of that until the last sentence. That is like mind-blowing to me. That's true. He cannot defend himself. He runs. He's a fleer. In fight or flight, he flees. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. Emmy could like have such a way better life if she just got rid of Will. I think Will is gonna be, I don't even want to say because I don't want to like accidentally make it happen with my witch powers, but I don't see his path being that great. Anyway, like I don't even think he wants to be a lawyer. Didn't he tell Leva, like, I really love being a bartender and like I like the hospitality industry. And if I stay here, then I would like to figure out a path. But he couldn't figure out a path. So he went to law school because that's what his dad does. And now he's a Nepo baby working at his dad's law firm. Nothing is worse than a Nepo baby than a trust fund baby. Shepherd, Rose. And then, unless like a Nepo trust fund baby, if you have one of those, I don't know. They're like in the middle, I think. I think trust fund baby who doesn't work is the worst. That's Shep. Okay, let's see. What else? Is that it for Southern hospitality? Hold on. Joe and Maddie are making me feel so uncomfortable. It's like mom and dad are fighting and they are not holding back at all when they're at work. It's so awkward. Like it's funny when they're doing it, when they're arguing at home. Like they showed a scene of Maddie yelling like, you need to go home. You need to get out right now or something. And he's just so obsessed. He doesn't even know what to do with himself. He's completely obsessed with Maddie. If he could be one of those, what are they called? Like those stinger fish that like fuses onto the female fish for life. That's Joe Bradley. Joe Bradley is, oh my God, I was talking to someone in DMs and they're like, Joe Bradley is like Marky Mark in Fear. No, I'm picturing, I don't think Maddie has a little brother, but now I'm picturing Maddie's little brother running over Joe. They're like, everybody hide. Joe is knocking on the door. He got through the security system. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wait, end up. You haven't watched Southern Hospitality. It is so good. It's like VPR level, but better than VPR now because VPR is starting all over again. Near Nothing said, Jenny's recaps got me into watching the show. I didn't touch it until her first recap. That makes me so happy. I love Southern Hospitality. And it's been reported that Southern Hospitality is one of the best Bravo shows in the current lineup, along with Summer House. And I think they're reaching over 1 million viewers every week. So, yay, we love that. Okay, before we wrap up, The Traitors, US Season 3, Episode 10. I'm not even going to talk about this episode, but before we wrap up, I need to address the elephant in the castle, The Traitors. As you may have noticed, I have officially tapped out of covering The Traitors Season 3 because, quite frankly, it's trash. It's garbage. I hate it. It's awful. That's how I feel to The Traitors. It's just not giving what it used to give. And honestly, I blame the fact that it's all celebs this season. The magic is gone. My soul needs some messy normies back in that castle. So instead of wasting my energy recapping a season I'm not feeling, I've decided to channel all that energy into manifesting my spot on season 4 when they hopefully bring back regular normies like me who will dominate. If we're playing for money, I will do almost anything. I would have failed at the Haggis challenge in season 2 And then the one with the hand in the box and all the maggots and stuff. Yeah, I would have failed at that. I would have been Chriselle. But other than that, I would totally dominate. So mark my words, Banished by Blaze will, oh my God, excuse me. That's so embarrassing. Mark my words, Banished by Blaze will return when the show is worth watching again. All right. And just said Jenny was so aggressive when she said dominate. Yeah, I am. I am very aggressive when I say dominate because I would not be messing around. This season even made me, for the first time, even consider being a traitor. I think they need someone like me in there as a traitor, although I don't know how great I would be as a traitor because I have a conscience and a soul. But yeah. Last night's episode pissed me off a little bit. Dylan is the closest we got to a normie because he watches Survivor. But it pissed me off how hard he was fangirling over Boston rhobh. It totally messed up the game, and he gave Boston rhobh too much power. That pissed me off. But you can still go watch Banished by Blaze or listen wherever you get your podcasts. And Tessa, would you be shaking and crying with every kill? I don't know. I might. Like, I would probably see. The thing is with Danielle, it doesn't work as well if you're Danielle because she's been on a reality show. Someone like me, like, I would clear everything that I have. I would delete my whole digital footprint before the show so that no one would know any of my strategy, my thoughts, my opinions. And then I would just play dumb. I would play so dumb. I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Is this a game? I would go incognito. Yes, I would. That's how I roll. All right. That's a wrap for this week's Bravo and Blaze live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out, getting lit, and diving into all this Bravo chaos with me. Don't forget, even though I'm taking a little birthday break from the podcast and live streams, I'll still be on social media. So make sure you're following at Bravo and Blaze wherever. Wait, what? Sorry, I got distracted. Oh my gosh. This is why I need a break. Make sure you're following at Bravo and Blaze everywhere on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, all that good stuff. And Jenny Blaze on YouTube. And while I'm working behind the scenes this month, get ready because we're coming back even bigger, better, and of course, blazed. Until next time, I love you all. Stay lit. Bye-bye.